Imagine an era of immense post-war rebuilding, where ambition soared and railroads stretched across the continent, promising boundless prosperity. But what happens when that rapid expansion outpaces its financial foundations, leading to an unexpected and sharp contraction? The Panic of 1873, which occurred during President Ulysses S. Grant's administration, was primarily caused by overspeculation in railroads, a fragile banking system deeply intertwined with those ventures, and a significant global economic downturn triggered by the demonetization of silver in Germany, known at the time as the Crime of '73. Let us dive deeper into these core mechanisms. The post-Civil War period saw an explosive growth in railroad construction. Investors, both domestic and foreign, poured vast sums into these projects, often without careful consideration for actual demand or profitability. Many railroads were built in sparsely populated areas, generating insufficient revenue to cover their immense construction costs and debt payments. This created a speculative bubble, where the perceived value of railroad bonds far exceeded their underlying economic reality. Banks, eager to profit from this boom, heavily invested in these increasingly risky bonds, making their own stability precarious. The banking system itself lacked robust regulation, meaning that the failure of one major financial institution could easily cascade through the entire network. Banks were not only lending to railroads but also using railroad bonds as collateral for other loans. When confidence in these bonds began to waver, the interconnectedness of the financial system meant that distress in one area quickly spread. Simultaneously, a global economic contraction was underway. Germany's decision to shift from a bimetallic standard to a gold standard, demonetizing silver, had a ripple effect worldwide. This reduced the global money supply, leading to deflationary pressures and making credit harder to obtain, further squeezing the overextended American economy. To understand how these elements converged, consider the chain reaction. Railroad companies, fueled by speculative investment, borrowed heavily from banks and issued a massive amount of bonds. When these companies failed to generate expected returns, their bonds lost value, crippling the banks that held them. Simultaneously, a tighter global money supply meant less capital was available to prop up these struggling ventures, intensifying the crisis. As news spread of railroad defaults and bank failures, public confidence evaporated, leading to widespread bank runs where depositors rushed to withdraw their money, exacerbating the liquidity crisis and forcing more banks to close their doors. A key moment in this unfolding crisis was the collapse of Jay Cooke Company on September 18, 1873. This major investment bank, a prominent financier of the Union during the Civil War, had heavily invested in the Northern Pacific Railway. Its failure sent shockwaves throughout the financial world and is often cited as the immediate trigger that initiated the widespread panic. Furthermore, the ongoing debate in the United States regarding currency policy, specifically whether to continue issuing greenbacks or return exclusively to a gold standard, added another layer of uncertainty, with policies aimed at currency contraction making credit even tighter during a period of economic strain. Understanding the Panic of 1873 offers a powerful lesson in the interconnectedness of global finance, the perils of unchecked speculation, and the profound impact of monetary policy decisions. It highlights how a confluence of ambitious domestic development, a vulnerable financial system, and international monetary shifts can create widespread economic distress, shaping future regulatory efforts and economic thought around financial stability.